to the winter induction. Hopefully we are going to go through some information that will help you ahead of the winter's delivery. Most of you now are quite seasoned pros, so we do know that there is a lot of things that we may kind of touch upon that you are already aware of, but hopefully there'll be a few new bits that we can go through today. We'll introduce you to Ryan, who has taken over from Emma at Playways. And we'll be able to go through a little bit around Playways today. And then obviously, if you do have any questions, then please do let us know. Please use the chat function. One of us will monitor that and we'll ask questions at an appropriate point. But otherwise, we will start the session.
Lou, I don't think the sound's coming through. I can't hear it. Lou, because you've got your headphones in, I think the sound might not be coming through.
I have unplugged them, to be fair. So let me try again. Is that working now?
No.
Okay, technology always lets you down when you need it to, doesn't it? Okay, so we were going to show you there the video that we've had made as part of the summer delivery, but hopefully those of you that were at the Learn and Share already saw the video. If not, then we can make sure that the link is available to those that haven't seen it. It's just a great celebration of what we do and how well the summer went. So just a little thank you to you guys for everything that you've done. So I'll come back and share my...
Okay. So just to run through a little bit of a kind of reminder about summer. So another great summer was had in the Happy programme. We offered 43,612 places. 40,000 of those were taken up, which is a really fantastic number to see. We had over 2,000 send spaces, which was fantastic. And then we were really pleased with 76% of those places attended. Obviously, we know that there's still an opportunity to make that figure a bit higher, but we're really happy with the way things are going. The post-summer survey that we send out to parents, 93% of those completing it said that their children had really enjoyed the camps. So from our perspective, that's a really great opportunity to thank you guys, because without you, that wouldn't be the case. So thanks again for everything that you've done. You can see on the right hand side there the map that just gives you a little bit of an idea. When we get your applications, this is the information that we pop into Local Insight. So we then want to ensure that those stars that you can see there are evenly spread across the whole of the county. So that is why we sometimes aren't able to offer everything that people ask for, because we want to ensure that we get that even spread. We know that there's still some key challenges, cancellations and non-attendance. We had some feedback from you all around the fact that it was great that people were cancelling, but actually they were cancelling too late. and it still meant that people couldn't actually take up those places. So that's something that we've taken on board, and we'll definitely be trying to change the way in which we pass on information in the future. We know that there can still be some issues around SEND and inclusion. So having enough staff to support the needs of the children that are coming through into some of your mainstream camps, and then equally being able to ensure that we have enough SEND specific places for those that need that extra support. Food provision definitely improved from Easter, but we know that there can still be some issues around accessing the right provision, or actually ensuring that that provision is always suitable for those attending. So it's just something to bear in mind as we move into the winter period. So, as you know, we are running across 3 separate weeks, 2 days in the first week, the 3 days between Christmas and New Year, and then the 2 days of January. We do know that some schools don't go back until Monday the 9th, or Monday the 8th, sorry, but we have to work with Hertfordshire's term dates. So that is why it's only the 2nd and the 3rd of January that we're able to offer as dates. We had a target ahead of applications of offering 9,000 mainstream places. We've actually offered 9,450. So whilst I know that there are a lot of people on this call that maybe didn't get the whole of the allocation that they were offered, we have still gone over and above that in terms of what we've been able to offer. We had about 12,500 places offered, just as a guide. We had 300 SEND places that we were aiming to offer, and we've actually again had to up that because we know that there is that need and that provision across Hertfordshire. So we've actually offered 588 SEND specific places. So again, it's one of those things where we would love to have offered every single place that people offered, but we had to make sure we had that delivery right across Hertfordshire. So just that little point of reminder, who's coming to camp. So as we know, they have to be school age, so they reception to year 11. So you do have potential to have some 4-year-olds if your camp is of the younger age group, because obviously we are in that early part of the new school year. The core criteria remains that the child has to be in receipt of benefits related free school meals, and they have to be attending a school in Hertfordshire. However, as we've talked about previously, we do have the 15%, and these are the children who may be able to attend the camps because there is an additional vulnerability or reason why they would be supported by attending our camps. So these are some of the reasons, but they are not an exhaustive list. So just because a child has an EHCP doesn't mean that they would automatically qualify to be part of the programme. Ultimately, we are trying to ensure that we are reaching those who are of greatest need. So whether they are needing to be supported because the family's income is lower, but ultimately we will look at that on a case-by-case basis. So if you do have people that you are aware of that don't meet the full criteria, but you believe they should be eligible under the 15%, please do get in touch with us. We do want to ensure that we are reaching those who need it most. And as I say, it will be on a case-by-case basis, and it needs to come through the HAF inbox. Okay, so families continue to access the programme via their Playways accounts using their unique booking code. They have been going out since the back end of last week. So schools should now be starting to receive those. If you do have anyone who's attended your programme before who does ask, please remind them that they do need to get that code from their school. Until schools break up, they are the key point of receiving the code. Obviously, if it is a referral, it's slightly different because it is a slightly different code. But if it is those that are in receipt of free school meals, they do need to get those from their school. As I say, anyone who is a referral, we do need that in writing via the HAF inbox. We don't want the whole story. We just want an understanding of the background. So a summary as to why a child would benefit, and then we're able to look at that. Please do remember, and I don't think there are many on the call this time that are doing any AM and PM camps, but it is only one camp per day. So there have been points where people have asked us about AM and PM sessions. An AM session or a PM session is one session, so they cannot attend both. Remember, the HAF programme only needs to be delivered over a 4-hour period. So as long as your provision is hitting 4 hours, then you are doing what you need to do for HAF. So it is one session per day. Okay, at this point, I'm going to hand you over to Katie. Katie has taken over from Sarah at Hearts Community Foundation, and she's going to talk you through the next part of our induction. Over to you, Katie.
Thank you, and welcome everybody from me at Hearts Community Foundation. So I started, as most of you know, in August, but officially from kind of the 11th of September. So this has been my first round too, and I'm learning just as much as some of you guys will be learning and picking things up. On Friday, hopefully you all received your grant offer letters, which would have been accompanied by your memorandum of understanding, a publicity guide for if you wanted to celebrate the fact that you've got a happy grant again on your social medias, and there'll be the training spreadsheet, which we'll go through shortly. Almost all of the providers this time have got a condition about places, because as Lou was saying, we've had to reduce the number of places because we had a phenomenal amount of applications. So pretty much every provider has some conditions about places. Please make sure you acknowledge them when you respond with any of your documentations. The grant offer letter that you have will again contain these conditions as well as other terms and conditions, so please do read through them. And the grants offer letter needs signing by 2 signatories. They should be unrelated signatories. We know there are a couple of you where the directors, you're a family-run company, which is fine, and we've worked around that before. But if you're unsure about the case-by-case basis in that situation, please let us know and we can offer you the advice. But as I say, the grants offer letter should be signed by 2 unrelated people. The memorandum of understanding needs 1 signature and should be a director or someone in significant control of the company or charity. As always, me and Emma Dalton are on the end of a phone if you ever need us, or on the end of an email. We are working, between the 2 of us, we work all week, so there's always someone around to answer any questions. And I'm going to just share my screen with the training spreadsheet now. Does anyone have any questions on the grant offer or the MOU before I share the screen on the training? If anyone's not got them for any reason, then do either put something in the chat or let me know by email, and I will get that resent for you. If this spreadsheet is not, you should be able to see it now, but if it's not big on your Teams, you can change it into focus view on Teams. If anyone needs any help doing that, just pop it in the chat and I'm sure one of us can help with that. So we've revamped the training spreadsheet a little bit to make it a bit more intuitive for you and hopefully a bit easier to use. I've just done kind of a mock-up one here, which I've put some data in already. Names are completely fictional. This is no one's data that I've used. So you see that I'm working on something that's got 3 venues. I've populated some data already with the yes, no's here. Their camp role is at happy, not necessarily based in your organisation. And any data that you put in these cells here will copy across into
Oh, we've lost Katie, I think. Are you back?
Sorry,
That's all right.
I am back. Am I still sharing? That's fine. I apologise. There's probably quite a lot of children's tablet time going on at the same time, annoyingly, in my household. But there we go. Yes, so enter names of anyone that you're putting in. They should all go in as normal. And then over here, we've got yes, no drop downs. We advise filling them all in because the sheet is formatted in a certain way so that it will blank out columns that are not relevant to you as you move into the tabs. Anything on H to K, you won't be able to put any data on this front sheet because it's locked and you should get an error. This data here picks up from the tabs. So this is the safeguarding tab where every single person on your happy camps will appear. The yellow boxes are there just to indicate that something is missing. So the minute you put a date into these, the box will clear, apart from the ones that are underneath. Hopefully that one is fine. What we want to do is have your name of the training provider. So some of you will access the online training and your level will go in. That's again a drop down box. So you'll get levels 1 to 3 there. If you've done it through that way, you'll have a copy of the certificate that's available to send us, but you don't need to provide them with your training documentation. So you can leave that box as no for the moment. We will, as we've done in previous rounds, randomly ask certain providers to provide certificates for certain people so that we're seen to be doing our spot checks that we're required to do for the certificates for the training records. In the food safety, this brings in the elements of why the no's on the front sheet are quite helpful. So they do block out people that this tab isn't relevant to. The requirements for this, as I said before, are on the training requirements overview. So if you're not sure what each venue should have, you can pop back to there. The people that we've ticked yes to appear here, but the ones that we've left blank also appear here. So if we wanted to get rid of them, we need to go back to that first sheet. And Charlie Donald's the one that I'll use as the example there. So if I change that to no, he will disappear off this sheet, which is slightly more helpful to us. For anyone that's put in a level 2, the allergies box will go a dark brown, just to remind you to put in the date of their allergy testing 2. And that's that sheet. And all of that data that I'm putting in there is pulling through onto here. First aid tab is the same, so it just needs the dates putting in. The one that we need to know particularly is the other. So that's for anyone that's got a sports related first aid qualification. And the requirements for the program is that you do the online refresher. So once you've done the online refresher, you put the date in here and that box will go blank or go white. This time we've introduced the send box. So this is for anyone that's completed any additional SEND training relevant to your camps. It is likely to become a requirement in 2024 for SEND providers to tell us about what experience you've got amongst your staff in order to provide a SEND provision. This can be, there's a variety of courses and they're all called different things. So this is a completely open free text box here, and you can type in anything relevant, any kind of qualifications that are relevant to SEND provision and put their dates in for us. And that just helps us to get us a picture and a snapshot. But the most kind of the thing that we are hoping to gain from the SEND tab is that when it does become a requirement in 2024, we'll have been able to tweak it. So any feedback that you do have on the SEND tab in particular, do let us know, because if it becomes a requirement, then we want to be able to make it easy for you to fill this in and send it back to us. We're not planning any major structural changes to this spreadsheet going forward, so it will effectively kind of become a master for you, and you'll just be able to add new staff and take old staff out as we go forwards into the rounds. But hopefully we just want to try and reduce the admin burden on you guys when you're doing the training records. Does anyone have any questions? Otherwise I'll stop sharing. So if you, oh, Kill's got one.
Hello. Hi, I'm Akile. Just a question with regards to this training sheet. Obviously, it needs to be in by a particular time. But for me, I'm always kind of, I'm sure others are the same, continuously recruiting staff, backups, contingency plans, all that kind of stuff. So it may well be that and also happy camps, you know, the great trainings that you guys provide, sometimes the dates fall outside of this training log. So what's the best way to kind of get that information across to you?
So by the 9th of December, you do have to have your mandatory training that's the final deadline for the training spreadsheet. Now, we know some of the mandatory training offered as part of the Happy programme is going on after that date. If you put the date that you're booked onto the course, you can submit your training record by the 9th of December, and that's absolutely fine. We will then verify that you attended that course after the date with Heart Sport Partnership, and we'll get that information. If you do recruit new staff after that date, you'll need to add them to the training sheet and send us a copy so that we know that that member of staff is new, but they've done their mandatory training and they're up to date and ready to be on Happy Camps.
So, for example, I've got all my team doing paediatric first aid on the 10th of December. That's all booked. Would you want that just put on there and sent pre-date or after?
If they're booked on the course, then send it with the date that it's due to happen. We'll do our spot checks in that week, so it may well be that as it's future data, we might well ask for a certificate from one of your group.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, thank you.
If there's any other questions afterwards, feel free to put them in the chat or ping me an email and I'll be able to help you with that. I'm going to hand over now to Emma.
Hello. Excuse me. So hopefully most of you know me by now. We've got rid of one Emma in Playways, Emma Trunks, and got replaced by Ryan. So there's now only two of us left. But I'm Emma Catlin, if you don't know me, and I lead on the training for Heart Sports Partnership. So we have got a training calendar specifically for winter, which we shared with you a couple of weeks ago now, so that you could try and get yourself a little bit ahead of the game, ahead of you obviously being told that you were confirmed providers as of Friday. So hopefully you've been able to book on some of them courses. I've definitely seen some of you do that. So it was just really as a reminder that we have a huge breadth of training that you can access, and there's a mixture of in-person, online, live online training and on-demand training. And we've increased our on-demand training. I don't know if you can see that in the middle there, quite significantly, because from feedback you said that was the sort of most engaged with medium, and you were finding that easy. That was really good to have that, to be able to do it in your own time, and shorter bite-sized things. So we've increased that to cover a little bit more of the university. So that's a bit of a mixture of ADHD, ASD, and just a general awareness of that kind of covering in the SEND provision, rather than just the live online courses that have been available before. So hopefully that provides that cover. We've also introduced that disability awareness and inclusion. So where we offered an in-person version of that ahead of summer, we've got that as an on-demand option this time round. And then a couple of the cases in camps and stuff we've had, we're wanting to be inclusive of everyone trying to access these camps. So the diabetes training for schools and carers, and the epilepsy training for schools and carers, and then the emergency first aid at work refresher, which I think will be a welcome addition to quite a lot of you that may, as Katie said, have perhaps a sports specific first aid qualification, and you just need a top up of the sort of little bit more context around a generic, rather than it just be, say, for example, football based. There's quite a lot more that can get involved in Happy, so we just want that little bit more generic cover for all kind of first aid eventualities. And then it's just really a reminder that all the courses are there for you to book, and they're absolutely live for you to book now. So do book as early as you can, so places don't go. There's a real mixture of sort of fairly well spread right from now through till delivery. As you can see, the last live delivery date we've got is Monday the 18th of December. We do have this safeguarding level 3, which is just after winter delivery. So if you do want to kind of get ahead of the game and get yourself booked onto that, please do so. But yeah, the last live delivery of a course is the 18th of December. We do have first aid courses that are running sort of right up to that date as well. And we've got I've just seen a note come up, the safeguarding for under 18. So yeah, that is on the 15th of November. If you can see, the safeguarding for participants aged 16 to 17 is just there. And That's the only live one that we've got going at the moment. There are, I believe, 6 places left on that. So if you do need to get your staff covered that are under the age of 18, there's those places for you. If for whatever reason we're not looking to add any more courses for this particular winter delivery, unless there's absolute need for the particular age group. For example, in summer there was a huge demand for that 16 to 17 age group, so we were able to actually put two courses on. We warranted the amount of people that were interested and needed that cover, warranted the 2 extra courses. Because there's slightly less of you this time round, it might not be that there's a case to have an extra course added entirely, but if that is the case and you are struggling to get any last minute people sorted of that age range, there is a caveat that you can do the on-demand safeguarding level 2, which at the moment it says participants aged 18 plus. That is because it'd be preferred for anyone under the age of 18 to have an in-person one ideally, or a live hosted one, so there can be that discussion around the context of what their responsibility would be. If that is not possible ahead of winter delivery, you can do that on demand level 2 if they are in the presence of an adult, to ask any of those questions that they might otherwise be able to share with people in a forum, online or in person. So if you are struggling to book on to any of these courses, they are available on the main courses website. All of them are together there. Please email hsptraining@hearts.ac.uk if you've got anything you're struggling to book on a certain course, or if you can't make any particular dates that we've got there. If there's anything we can accommodate, we will try our best. I can see that there's a question just there saying, will the training courses be recorded? It depends on the course itself. So some of them lend themselves to be able to do so. So for example, if Lou, if you wouldn't mind just going back to oh, we lost their presentation, but the advanced courses, so that's ADHD awareness, ASD awareness, the supporting neurodivergent children with activity transitions and managing challenger behaviour, all of those courses are recorded. So if for whatever reason you can't attend the live date, we can share a post event recording with you. Some of the in-person courses physically can't be recorded, so anything that we do have the opportunity to have recorded, we have put that on kind of the information on the website, so when you're signing up for that course, you know that's an option. If you can't make that live date, that there is the follow-up. So let us know. You can always pop us an email and just say, I haven't booked onto the actual course, but please share the resources with me afterwards, and we'll be able to benefit from the content that way. But hopefully that the on-demand element has increased, and that covers you for sort of all the mandatory training and any extra CPD training that you feel is beneficial. If there's any questions at all other than those that I've just whistle-stopped or tried to answer within that explanation, do let me know, or pop them in at the end, and as the presentation's going on, I can try and answer on the chat as we go. But I don't know if there's any live questions that anyone wants to ask of me now. If not, we'll move on to the next slide and just have one more reminder around the first aid courses. So most courses, obviously we want to kind of promote those courses, and they're a great opportunity for everyone to come onto, so as many people as we can get on them would be brilliant. We do know that obviously life gets in the way, so emergency circumstances happen, but it's just a slight reminder that for first aid in particular, because that is a formal qualification that you need to have attended the full day in person and a practical course, there is a slightly different setup in that is a cost per person rather than the course itself just running dependent on how many people are on that. So that is a slightly different setup. So it's just to be a bit more aware of those courses, that when you're booking those, that is you committing to that date, and if for whatever reason you can't attend, as much notice as possible to cancel would be appreciated. So that those terms and conditions that we've kind of laid out there is a 7 days notice to cancel your place entirely, if at all possible. If you can't attend for whatever reason, but ideally with 48 hours notice, you can switch the person from your organisation. So if you can't make it, but you can get another person from your organisation onto that course, then we can switch the person on the course at no charge. We did have unfortunately 11 no-shows, so that was no communication at all, that whether it was cancelled, switched, transfer of place. It was just simply not showing up on the day, which does cost us because it hasn't been able to be sold or opened up to another person. So that has wasted a little bit of money. So it was just a polite reminder, if at all possible, particularly for the first aid, that you are kind of committing to that qualification. So if you can attend or give us some sort of communication, if you can't for whatever reason, that would be much appreciated.
Okay, any other questions for Emma? Obviously, if you do think of anything as we're going along, please do pop it in the chat and we can go back and have a look through. But at this point, I'm going to welcome Ryan. So as Emma alluded to, we are down to 2 Emmas now. We only have Emma Catlin and Emma Dalton. Ryan has taken over Emma's mantle over at Playways. Well, in fact, Ryan's been at Playways for a while, but I'm going to let him sort of give you a bit of a background to where he's at. I'm just going to let you share your screen, Ryan, and then over to Ryan to be able to go through. We have today, because pretty much everyone on the call has delivered previously, we have assumed that you don't need us to go through how to set your community up, how to do the basics. So we are going to take you through from the point at which your community is set up. Obviously, if you do have any questions and need to go back a step at any point, we do have a question and answer session on Friday. It's at 12 noon. There will be information going out after today's session. So if you do have any specific questions around resetting anything up that's before this step, please do save them if you can until then, and we can go through it with you on a separate point. But I will pass now over to Ryan to go through with you.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me all right? Perfect. So as Louise touched on, I am taking place of Emma, who would have delivered some training that you would have had previously. I'm currently the customer support manager at Playways. So if you have been in touch with support previously, you may have had responses from me directly. I'll be picking up the support this summer with the team. Today I'm going to run through a hopefully helpful brief guide of the site, which you should all hopefully be set up with. If you have questions, I'll share the contact information for support directly. I'm sure you guys already have the contact information for the rest of the half delivery. So you'll all have a community homepage. You should hopefully have that set up by now. I'm going to use a demo site. This way I can interact with the data a little bit more. So just to touch on your community homepage, there's a few useful navigation tools from here that you will hopefully have noticed already. So you will see along the bottom line here a nav bar. So you'll have access here to your activities dashboard behind the activities button. So clicking this will open that. I'll touch on a few of these features later in the call. You will have the news feed, which is a really good feature for sending out information to all of your community members, anyone who's made a booking so far, and anyone who has made a booking before, you have an opportunity to reach out to. You'll have access to reporting as well. And you will also be able to access the forms feature should you need to collect any more information in your sessions. So the homepage will let you edit your banner image and your community logo. Feel free to update these. So the main feature you will be using on the site is the activities feature. So hopefully you would have all noticed the big create button. So the activities create should allow you to set up all your camps for your bookings. So once you open the create flow, the first question you'll be asked is what sort of activity you'd like to create. You're all going to need to select physical activity. By allowing them to be listed, they will appear on the the Heart Sports Finder. So the activity finder embedded on their website, your sessions will show here, which is a great way to get people into your sessions for bookings. The activities details page is the first configuration that you'll need to get started with. You have the opportunity here to upload an image. So this image is what we'll show on Finders. If you have the opportunity to put in images here, it can be really helpful in attracting parents to your activities. It should hopefully increase your bookings. You'll need to give the title of your activity. Here, this isn't very imaginative, but you can title your activity and you can select briefly what type of activity that you're running. You'll see here, if you can't find one that fits, you do have the activity holiday camp option to select. The search here acts based on what you type. So if you type some keywords in, you should hopefully find a type of activity, or you can select holiday camp. You'll now have the option to provide a description for your camp. This gives you a really good opportunity to give key information to parents. The description will show in booking confirmations. So once a parent has booked, there is additional information here that is shared. So you'll be able to link to websites. You can give some information on the day around packed lunches. If you need additional information about the parking or the drop-off points, anything useful about your activity camp, pop that in here. If you do have any existing videos on YouTube, you can link those here, or you can upload them on the Finders and on the activity homepage. You'll have the option, or parents will have the option, to play these videos so they can act as promotional content for you. The activity participant section will allow you to give some brief information about who your activity is suitable for. So the most suitable options here for your sessions will likely be the age range and the disability. So if the camps are running from 4 till 11, you can pop those here, and this will be visible from the finder, and it will also display on your activity when parents are viewing those. So they're a good indication of who your camps are suitable for. If you have additional SEND requirements, then there may be some disability information that you can also pop on the sessions here. This is a generic list, so it should contain many types of disabilities here. They might not be specific enough, but there hopefully will be something that is close. The interested list, which you may have already seen, is turned on and off in the create or the edit flow by selecting this feature. So we've called it the overflow list or the interested list. You'll see it referred to as either on the site. What this gives you the opportunity to do is, when a session is full, parents can register their interest in the session. If you have cancellations, spaces become available for the session. You'll have the opportunity as an admin to send anyone on the interested list a notification. So I'll show you how to do that once the activity has been created. But for those parents that are interested, if you have a cancellation, you can send a notification out. That will give them a feed post and an email, and that will let them know that they can then come and make that booking.
Just a quick reminder, everyone, we would expect everyone to have that on, as we've said previously, in terms of managing places and ensuring that we do try and limit the number of places that we have in terms of the no-shows. We've obviously told parents to ensure that they're cancelling, so please do make sure you do turn that functionality on when you do put your bookings on. Thank you.
The scheduling page will allow you to set up all the activity dates for the winter period. You should try and use the repeating option. This will let you set up a number of schedules that the activities are running for across winter. I'll go through this because I have the dates to hand in a minute. On the bottom part of this flow, you are able to select one-off and block bookings. If you select one-off, you would have to go through the activity create a number of times. So by selecting repeating, if your activities are generic, you should try and use this option here. The schedules are quite flexible, so you should be able to schedule all the sessions that you need from the scheduling section here. So select repeating activity and then pop in the length or the duration of your activity. These do need to be the same duration throughout the series. And then you have the option to set a organizer for the activity. So as an admin of your community, you will have access at all times to make amendments, edits to your activities. You can grant permissions for activities to be managed by non-admins. So this feature is really helpful if you have users online who are going to run the session for you, but you don't want to give them access to your community, the data, the settings behind that. You can choose from a member search the user. You can select a different user to yourself, and then they'll be able to mark registers, make bookings for you. They'll be able to view registers, so with emergency contact information, SEND details. You can grant members the opportunity to help out here. If you have limits on the number of spaces that you can offer on the day, then you will need to use a participant limit. This will be the total number of bookings that you can take on any one day. And you will have the opportunity to select or create a venue. So if you have delivered with Playways before, your community will likely already have the venue that you need, or you can go through the venue create in 1 or 2 steps. In this flow, you can visit the venues page from the nav bar. I'm just going to find the tab that I've opened for it. I'm not getting very close here. I'll open it here. So from the homepage on your community, you will have the venues tab, and you can use this here to add venues. So you can create venues before you start creating your activity. If you have accidentally, or if you have continued without, you can do it in this flow using the find or create venue. You'll be asked to give the venue a name and a location, and then you can add additional details here. If you want to use booking windows for your activities, you can open and close your bookings at certain times. So if you open your bookings 2 weeks before an activity starts, if you are outside of that window, the booking button will be blocked, and you can close your bookings a day before the activity starts or 2 days before. Similarly, the booking button will be stopped. The scheduling of the activity is then done in these little windows, so you can have a number of schedules. So I believe the delivery days currently are the December the 21st and the 2nd for the first 2. The scheduling can take a couple of attempts. If you do create a schedule that you're not happy with, you are able to edit the activity once you've created that. So this will be Thursday and Friday. And then for the 27th to the 29th, you can create an additional schedule that runs on the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then if you have additional sessions in January on the 2nd and the 3rd, you can also set that up here. So because these dates don't sync each week, so the first week of the schedule is a Tuesday, Thursday and a Friday, and then the second week is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can create a schedule for each of them. If you're careful with the start and the end dates, this will create 2 activities in this period, 3 activities in this schedule, and 3 activities here. I believe it's just January 2nd and the 3rd. Let me just check that. Tuesday, Wednesday. And this will create 2 activities in the schedule here. You will need to pop in the start time. And then you can proceed through the booking flow. The forms feature may be turned on when you are looking to set up your activities. It is possible for the network, so Heart Sports, to set up a booking form for you. The booking form, if it does appear, will have booking rules applied to that. So if the form does appear pre-selected, then just skip through this. It will be selected for you, and the form will have rules on this. The network does have mandatory data set up for collection. So as a user is booking, this is just some test examples. The user will go through the booking flow and fill in the mandatory information. So they will be asked to put in their emergency contact details. Sorry, Ola.
Just one on that, guys. If we do put in a form on your community, it will start with the words "do not remove." It will be really clear, and we will message you to let you know. We're just playing around with some of the forms at the moment to make them as easy as possible to use for the parents and young people that will be booking. But if we do put in that form, it'll be really clear not to remove it. So, and we'll let you know. Thank you.
Perfect, thanks. Yeah, if the form does appear here, it will say do not remove, and just skip through that, click continue. You will then most likely not be taking payments for the half sessions, so you can skip past the payment option here. Clicking continue will let you through, and the QR codes to track attendances you can skip. If you do enable this, it sends out QR codes to parents. They do come through on the booking confirmations, but it is better to manually take the register in this scenario, so leave that off. You will have the option to send out notifications to members of your community and people who have booked activities. So you can send a booking prompt to users on an interested, not the interested list, but on an associated list. So if a user has made a booking on your activities, if you are running sessions throughout the summer and there are spaces still available, you can send booking prompts for activities. So you can send out notifications 5 days before an activity starts if there's spaces available. Anyone who has interacted with a session, made a booking previously, can receive notifications. If you don't want to send these, change the number to 0, and then that won't send the prompts out. For all users who have made a booking, you can remind them that they have a booking upcoming. This is default set to 1 day, and this will let them know the day before the activity that the booking is still confirmed and this session is upcoming. This will send them an email so that they will get another ping here to let them know. If you have marked an additional organizer in your session, the organizer will be reminded to track the attendance for the activity. so you can remind them in the morning. If they have forgot, they'll get an email here, and this will send to the session organizer that you selected earlier in the flow. And then leaving this checked will ensure the activity will show on the Heart Sports Finder. So the activity here will be promoted onto the website, or a Playways powered widget, which does at times go alongside finders. So the activity create, once you've completed it, hopefully you'll have all your information up to date, your schedule correct. Once you complete the create, you will have a session that looks like this. If you do notice that any of your dates don't quite look right, or as you was trying to schedule them, you do have the option to hide the activity. So hiding the activity will make sure that participants or parents cannot book. So hiding that will allow you to take the system offline, take the activity offline, and you'll have the ability to then make edits to the session. So if you do create it, it's not quite right, you don't have to delete the activity and start from scratch. You have the option to go through the activity edit. This will be very similar to the create flow that you've just seen. And you will have the option for each of your session days to edit them individually or to edit them as a series. The session or the activity when editing a series, the system will look to edit all the dates. The system will at times not make edits to specific sessions. So if you edit specifically December the 28th and you change the start time or the capacity, if you then edit from the 21st and you select all dates and you change the capacity, it will edit all unchanged sessions. It will protect the 28th because you have individually made that edit. So what that hopefully does, if you have made a specific edit for a reason for that day, and then you edit all the dates, it should hopefully protect that. So I would emphasize, after any edits that you make, have a click through each of your sessions, make sure they look how you expect them to, and then you have the opportunity to edit each of those individually.
Can I just quickly, sorry Ryan, can I just quickly jump in there? The one strange anomaly we've found is if that people do make any changes, particularly to times, whilst they are in a different country. So if you are on holiday and you do want to make some changes ahead of your delivery, please try and get someone in the UK to do it, because it sends Playways into a bit of a spin and will cause the times to go completely array, because it will then match it to the time zone that you're in. So just be wary of that. If you do need to make any changes and you are away, email us if it comes down to it, and if it's not too difficult, we may be able to do it for you, but we have noted that is something that does happen if you're not actually in UK time zone. The other thing as well, just to remind you, where obviously Ryan showed you the hide functionality, please remember, the minute that you are happy with your listing, that it does need to be hidden until we unhide it on the day of booking. So please do ensure that once you've gone through the whole thing, you've checked it all, you're happy with it, that you do hide the camp. Obviously, we will unhide it on bookings day, but we can't have it open there before people should be able to book, so that they don't book early. Okay, thank you.
Perfect. If you are then managing the session day to day, you might need to add some users to the session. So the add invite function here will allow you to search for any existing community members. If you type their naming here, they will pop up. So if they've booked with you before, if they've joined your community, they will show in the search. If you aren't quite sure if they're in your community, you are able to add existing or new users. You'll need to choose the child/dependent account linked to a parent account. If you fill in the details, the system will match this to an already existing account if one's created, or it will create an account for you and send the parent an invite to register with Playways. So popping in their name, date of birth, address, and then the parent's details will create those accounts. If they already exist, a little notification will pop up and you'll be able to add those to the session. When you are using the add invite, you will need to make sure that you select the date you wish to add them to. Once you've done that, this should be pre-selected to the session date that you're on. Once you've added them, a green button will pop up. You'll be able to add them straight to the session. You'll then have access to the register for the day. So you'll be able to view all the SEND information that is collected when a user books. So it's not all specifically here in this test community, but you'll see information similar to the emergency contact details. I believe additional SEND requirements are filled in upon booking in the Heart Sports network. So you'll see all of that information here. You'll have access to that from the register, and you'll also be able to pull and export of your bookings here. So this will be specific to the day. This will pull the bookings into an Excel document for you, and just like the register shows here, you have access to all the information that has been collected. It will let you know booking information as well. You'll have access to Excel, so then you can search the document additionally. The register will then need to be taken. So on the day of the activity, once the start time has passed, you'll be able to change the status of the user. So once the child has arrived, you can select the user and you can mark them as attended today. This will update the status on the list for you, and you'll see the attended numbers change. If you have users on your interested list and there are spaces available for your session, so you'll see here there is one place left and a parent or a user has already marked themselves as interested, you can notify that parent. So select the users that you want to send the notification out to and click notify interested participants. This will send an email and a feed post to those users, letting them know that there are spaces available. If the session is full, you won't be able to send that notification there. If you need to make amendments to the sessions, you have the option to cancel a full date, and then you can also use the message function to target users in specific statuses. So for all users who's booked, you can send them a message here. You can select the group, type your message, and this will send them a notification. So if there is something you've missed in the description or some information that you've had to send to them prior to them arriving, you have additionally the message function there. You'll then have access to your activities dashboard. So this is a really good way of managing any queries about bookings. So clicking the dashboard from the summary page here will give you a community-based overview on each of your activities. You'll see here, clicking any of these activities will open that activity up, so it will link quickly to the activity. You can see how many places you've got booked, how many spaces available you've got. If the sessions have taken place, you can see that the registers have been marked, and you have the opportunity to see how many cancellations you've had. You can change the filter to bookings, and this is really helpful if you've got parents getting in touch. You can type the child's name in here, and you'll see all of their bookings in the summary and the current statuses of those bookings. So you'll see here when the booking was made. The notify me status represents a user on the interested list. If the user has made a booking, you'll see it here, and if the booking has been cancelled, you will additionally see the cancellation date and time. When a user has booked, or if you want to download any summary information, you will notice there's an export to CSV option. So similar to how the register is exported, the information summarized here can be taken offline as well, so you can download that. You will hopefully find use of the dashboard for general day-to-day queries. You may have queries from parents about booking. So the general booking flow from a finder will open a booking link. It will ask the parent to log in. I've already logged in here, and then the parent will be asked to select account. You want the parent to select their child or dependent account in this view. So if you are making a booking on behalf of the parent, if you've logged in, or if they're trying to log in themselves, they need to select the child that they'd like to book. If they have made their account and their child isn't created yet, you do have the add new child or dependent option, and that will give them all the right tools to create their child account. Once they select their account, they'll start moving through the booking flow. Because I've booked before, you can see that all the test information pops up pre-filled in. The child or the parent has the opportunity to update all of this information by clicking edit. If the information hasn't been collected before, it will all appear blank, and the rules of the booking form will apply here. So if they've been asked to provide a happy booking code, the field will pop up here, and it will ensure that the field is filled in correctly. This will just give you an understanding of some of the struggles that a parent might have here. So once they proceed through the booking flow, the booking will be confirmed. Once they've completed this, they can select the date that they'd like to book, and upon completion, the parent will now receive an email that will have booking confirmation and some helpful additional information about your activity on that date. You will then have additional access to activity reports. So from the navigation bar in your community, you have the reporting function. So you've got your activities dashboard that I've just shown behind the activities button. Additionally, you have the reporting dashboard. From here, you can pull an activities booking report. This will give you similar information to the dashboard. So I have downloaded this already today. If you select the activity bookings and you click export to CSV, you will have a similar export to this, and this will have the activity information in another helpful report. If you scroll across the statuses, you'll be able to see all the collected mandatory information, and you can then change the report based on the status of the activity booking. So you can have a look at anyone who's cancelled. You can see their information. If you change the tab at the bottom, you can switch between attended, attending, and anyone on your interested list. So you do have access to some helpful reports behind both of those features. The last feature that you will hopefully find helpful, and you can use this to engage your community members, is the news feature. So behind the news button on the nav bar, you have the news feature. This gives you an option to configure a post. You can include images, a title for your post, and a description. And the newsfeed will post a feed item and an email to all of your community members. So you can target groups in the news feature. This is a really good way of letting people know, parents who have booked before, that there are now bookings available again. You might want to do that after the go live dates. The feed posts within a user's account look roughly like this. So this is an example of that newsfeed post. So you'll be able to share information with users, and when a user has made a booking, they will also receive a feed post, and this will link directly to their session as well. I don't know if there's anything I've missed, Louise or Orla, if you've got anything you want me to go through off the top of your head. I believe that should hopefully be most of the useful information. Hopefully there's a few things you haven't seen before there that you do have access to.
Orla, do you want to jump in there?
Will do. Thanks for that, Ryan. That's really helpful. Hopefully everyone's learned a little bit more about Playways from that. We did ask Ryan to go into a bit more detail, so it might have you know, kind of tweaked your interest a bit. Just a reminder that we are doing a further Q&A on Friday lunchtime. We'll send out the link for that later as well, in case you have a go at some of these new features and have more questions. Ryan, just one thing, if you could just show people where they can find your resource base if they've got questions themselves, and maybe it's 1 or 2 in the morning and they can't contact us, where they might find some help.
So from any page, hopefully you'll see the need help icon here. So behind the green banner is some information about Playways generally. This won't be specific to the Heart Sports Network, but you do have the option to ask the support team for help. So clicking this will allow you to fill in some information and submit a request to the support team. Submitting this request will log a ticket with us, and we'll then get back to you. You'll notice that you will have been redirected to our knowledge base. So you can click the knowledge base link at the top, or I believe from this page, the knowledge base link here, and you will have access to some of our HAF program help guides. So behind this this little button, you'll see some information for providers, potentially some articles that you can share with parents if they are having trouble here. These should all be related to the HAF program, so any of our providers can use these. You might have generic queries about certain features, so you can search for answers here. If the knowledge base isn't comprehensive enough for you, feel free to reach out using that contact us form.
Okay.
Ryan, we just said, sorry, Louise, do you want to?
No, go on. No, go on.
Just so there was just one question in the chat that I was wondering you might be able to either demo or tell us. Haley has asked if you message a parent about being interested in a booking, do they see that somewhere on their the booking page, their account as such?
The interested post will create, let me just load the page, will create a feed post also. So it will let them know that a space is now available, and similar to the booking confirm, there will be a link for them directly to that session. I believe an email is also sent. The email will have the deep link as well. So by sending the post, clicking the button or the link will redirect them to the activity to then make their booking again.
Super, that's great. Thank you, Louise.
Thank you. If there are any other questions, Charlotte will hopefully be able to answer yours in the chat. Please, as I say, do make use of the question and answer session on Friday, or please do get in contact with the team at Heart Sports Partnership, and we will do our best to support you over the coming week to ensure that you can get your information up as planned. Ryan, I'm going to jump back in to share my screen again. So a few more slides from us. So Orla, if you just want to jump in there when it comes back up.
Thanks, Louise. I didn't really introduce myself, guys. I'm Orla Moore. I've been with the HAF programme in Hertfordshire since it started in 2021. So lots of familiar faces to me here tonight, which is great. Hopefully some of you are getting used to me as well. Just to go over some quick notes following Ryan's little presentation, just some reminders about dates and our expectations. So we, for the winter programme, we're looking to have all your activities set up by Monday the 13th of November, please. Remember, when you've set up an activity new this time, just hide it straight away. We don't want anyone sneaking in with an early booking. Unfortunately, if anyone does book before the opening date, we will be cancelling those bookings. It'll just be a straight message. You booked in error. Please come back on the 22nd of November. So please be aware of that. When you have set up your activities, if you could just ping us a quick message, just an email to say, I've set up. We'll be starting checking all the bookings on a particular date. So if you message me tomorrow and say you've set everything up, please don't expect me to check it tomorrow. We'll be doing that through next week and the week after. So you don't need to worry about making your bookings live. Myself, Louise, and the team will be doing that for you. So once you've set your activity up, we'll come back to you if we think there's any changes, we've got any queries, and then we will make it live in time for the bookings opening, which is at 12 noon on Wednesday, the 22nd of November. Just note that is midweek. We tried that at summer and it worked quite well, and it gives us a full 4-week run into Christmas this time. Again, just a reminder, if you do see someone has sneaked in with a booking or someone asks you, can they book on early? Unfortunately, that's not possible. We have to be quite firm with keeping it fair for everyone to access from the 22nd of November. Next slide, please. So as always, we have certain expectations around what you guys deliver and how things are operated on the day. Ryan's gone through there to show you how, again, to create and to mark your registers and attendance at the camps. It's really, really important that you're doing that on the day of the camp. So as much as possible, we'd encourage you to use Playways Live and do that online. That also helps with GDPR and safeguarding because you don't have printed registers lying around. I'm completely aware that doesn't work for everyone, but if you do take a register separately, please do your best to upload it on the day of the activity. This helps us to monitor attendance rates. It helps us to tweak our marketing, media, social media promotions to remind people about bookings or to highlight where, potentially there might be more vacancies than we thought. If you've got non-attendance on the day of camps, please do follow that up. Just from a financial aspect, making sure that we're not wasting funding. Also from a safeguarding perspective, just checking in with the young people. We usually have a really quick call, just check in. Hey, hope everything was okay. So-and-so didn't attend today. Is there anything we can do to help you get there tomorrow? Things like that, but keep it quite positive. But it's really important that we are checking with parents and guardians if young people don't attend. If you come across people who are repeatedly non-attending and you can't contact them, or you do contact them, it is acceptable for them to be removed from future bookings. You can consult with us on that, and generally we go for a kind of a 3 strikes and you're out rule. As long as that's communicated clearly to the parent or guardian of that young person, we don't have an issue with that. We want to make sure that the places are open and available to the young people that want to use them. An absolute final deadline, so Monday the 8th of January, is when your post programme monitoring is due. This is the monitoring that you have to return to our partners in Hearts Community Foundation. That's Katie and her team. It's also the final day for you to double check that all your registers have been completed. On that day, late in the evening, I will take an extract from Playways, and that is what we will monitor to the Department for Education on. So it's absolutely essential on that date. It is not flexible. If you think for some reason you can't achieve that, if something's come up, if there's a problem, please let me know as soon as possible in advance so that we can develop a workaround with you. But there is no flexibility on those dates. Louise, I think it's over to you.
Yep, so just a reminder, we will continue to have our audit process going on over the winter. So just a quick one to say that mainstream camps remain as unannounced invites. The send camps are booked in advance. The reason for this, I know some people have asked following the summer where they have had mainstream camps where they've had those with inclusive needs. We can't announce at mainstream camps because we do need to ensure that that process is taken and we can see how a camp would run on a day-to-day basis. The SEND specific, we know that there are going to be children with complex needs there. So that is why we are able to do a bookable approach to those, but not to mainstream. We aren't expecting any VIP visits at the moment. If we do hear of any, we will obviously come into contact with any providers directly. Obviously, if you do yourself have any local dignitaries, council officials, anyone that would like to visit your camp, please do let us know. Obviously, if we can attend, we will do. And I know from past experience, we have had a few mayors and local police officers attend camps, so great to know that that is going on even if we can't actually attend on the day itself. Just a little bit of a reminder, the key audit feedback from the summer, there's still a number of camps where ID isn't being checked, so please just do take that opinion, whether you know the person that's arrived or not, that you do need to see some kind of photo ID. Obviously Heart Sports Partnership will have their university lanyards. HCF, so Hearts Community Foundation, have got name badges, so please do ask for some form of ID when people are arriving. Signing in and out, again, can't stress that particularly if you are using a venue where you are the sole occupant, it's really important for you to know who's on site at any one time. So if there were to be a fire or an emergency, you do know that people are on your site. So please do ensure that you are getting those that do attend to sign in and out on the day. Over the summer, we did trial a slightly different way of promoting the resources that exist around cost of living. So we did send direct emails to parents with a booking reminder and also with some cost of living resources interwoven into that. But please do continue to promote the fact that there are information out there. There's information on our website in the existing provider area. And I believe Hearts County Council will be creating a booklet like they had last year, which will go out to all households. So we'll make that available where possible. Obviously, I know it's a difficult conversation sometimes to have with parents, but we obviously just want to ensure that there is that continued opportunity support if it is needed. Please do make sure all staff are aware of training opportunities. We still find sometimes when we do go to camps that not all of the direct delivery staff have been made aware of training. We appreciate it's not always possible for them to engage, but we would like to ensure that they are aware wherever possible. And also we know that there is a continued desire from providers to look at how they can promote the healthy eating and healthy lifestyle. So we will continue to touch upon that, and it may be that we can do more around that in our next Learn and Share in March. So just be aware, obviously at the end of the day, our audit process is there to ensure that everything is running smoothly. If we do have any concerns, we will obviously raise that with you on the day, but please do expect that there will be at least one visit wherever possible across the winter period. Okay, back to you, Orla, just to touch on contingency.
Thanks, Louise. Yeah, just something, I'm sure you all have this, you know, on your radar anyway, and a lot of this will be part of your general risk assessments for your activities and for your venues. There's a few little added things over winter, particularly around weather conditions, you know, cold, potentially ice, snow, storms, things like that. And we've already had a big storm this year. Luckily, we didn't get the brunt of it, but you can see damage that things can do. Just for it's really worth just being aware of these things, you know, keeping an eye on Met Office weather warnings. If there's, you know, national weather warnings that we feel warrant kind of county-wide action, we will communicate that to you. Otherwise, you know, just being aware yourselves, having communication plans in place. For example, if your activity is at a large public leisure centre, it's likely that footpaths and car parks will be cleared and you'll be able to use that venue, say if there was snow on the ground. But if you're in a small primary school in, you know, the middle of a housing estate, it's unlikely that school staff will be there to make that school safe for people to enter and exit in snowy or icy conditions. Just bear things like that in mind. Have communication plans in place, have a contingency, talk to your venue as well about what their policies and procedures would be. If you're in your own venue, you'll have an emergency action plan hopefully in place, you know, should something go wrong, that you and your staff will know what to do. If you're being hosted in someone else's venue, make sure that you know what their plan is if the fire alarm goes off or there's another reason to evacuate or leave the premises. Again, we'll emphasize Playways as a really great tool for this. You have emergency contact details for people. And you know, it's invaluable, particularly if a young person has an accident or an incident, you've got that next of kin details. You can see medical conditions and other relevant information that might be needed to be shared. Also, let's just consider the sometimes you might be in a position where you can't access Playways. Say the network goes down or there's a power failure or a Wi-Fi failure at your venue. Just to remind you that myself, Louise, and the team are at the other end of a phone. So if you do have an issue someday where you can't access your registers online or you had been planning to, please do give us a call. We are there to support in situations like that. It has happened once or twice and we appreciate that, but we are here to support you. So please don't be afraid to reach out. Any changes in time, date, venue, for whatever reason, please make sure you let us know. We often get parents, guardians, young people themselves contacting us for, oh, you know, where do I go for the camp today? Or I'm at a venue, where is the camp? I can't see it. So please make sure that we're fully informed, that we can maybe support you with changing Playways or getting that information out to anyone who is due to attend. Just really to emphasize, don't be afraid to reach out. No question is a stupid question. The only stupid question is the one that you don't ask. So please do that, and don't be afraid to reach out to us or to Ryan and the team at Playways as well.
Thanks, Orla. Just a reminder as well, in terms of changes to anything, please do keep us updated throughout, because particularly when we are checking your Playways listings ahead of bookings opening, we will be matching what you've put on Playways against what we believe you should be offered and what's been on put on your location spreadsheet. So if they don't match, then we will need to get in contact and understand what is the case. So we do need to make sure that all the information we hold is correct. It is quite a large sheet. I know obviously you only fill in a small location sheet, but that does go onto a master sheet and that becomes our Bible. So any changes, even if you don't think they're significant, please do let us know, because it might be that does change something that we need to be aware of on that sheet. Just a final thing, we did touch upon it at the Learn and Share, but the safeguarding arrangements will remain the same in regards to contacting families first should you need any support. We will send this out nearer to delivery, which will have all of the updated contact details and if there are any changes as to any particular working days. But just be aware that it is that continued model. And obviously, if you do need to report a safeguarding concern further, please do pass it on to Hertfordshire Safeguarding and let us know so that we are aware. So the final thing then, we have got the extra Q&A session. We've mentioned that a few times now, 12 noon on Friday. Please do note, for the first time, there is a mobile number on here. That is because although we have delivery going on, we aren't able to access our office space for a couple of the days between Christmas and New Year. So please do use that mobile number if you do need to get in contact with one of us urgently, because the office phone number will be diverted to a mobile. But obviously, as providers, we want to ensure that if you have got an emergency, we can get back to you as quick as possible. So please do make a note of that number, because that is slightly different. You will have myself, Orla, and Faye, who will be on the end of emails and phone numbers. As we've said previously, Hearts Community Foundation, if you have any questions in regards to your grant or the memorandum of understanding or anything to do with your allocation, that is Katie and Emma Dalton. And if there is any questions around training, please direct that to our HSP training account, and that will be Emma and Faye. So hopefully, appreciate that we are now just slightly over 8 o'clock. But that should hopefully have given everyone the information that you need to know for ahead of winter. If anyone has got any questions that they want to ask, please feel free to stay on the line and we can answer those. But otherwise, we will send you out an email just to remind you where you can find the recording of this evening if you do want to revisit anything, and also the details of how to log on to the Q&A on Friday. But thank you very much for everyone for attending. And please do keep us informed with plans. Obviously, if you do have any concerns around marketing, please do let us know and we can direct you to anyone who can support you. But otherwise, best of luck with your delivery, and we look forward to seeing everyone over the Christmas period.